Alright, hello everyone, it's Pig Puncher, and yes, I'm back with an actual video this time instead of a live stream. So my channel has exploded with support in the last few weeks, and I want to thank you all so much for getting me to nearly Harvey Weinstein, songs made by R.Kelly, and players of the popular video game Minecraft have all had to face. When the producer of some of your favorite movies is outed as a serial rapist, the singer of some of your favorite songs is revealed to be a child molester, or the creator of your favorite game comes out as a white nationalist, you may be faced with a dilemma as to whether or not it's right to continue to enjoy the content that person has produced. The ability to continue to enjoy such content without the misdeeds of its creator having an effect on you is called separating the art from the artist, and for the most part, it can be a pretty difficult thing to do. In general, the ability to do this is a positive trait, but there are times where this can also be negative. Let's use the massively popular gaming and comedy YouTuber JonTron as an example. JonTron became famous for making high-quality gaming reviews and skits that captured the hearts of millions of people. It was clear that he was very dedicated to his work, and he always strived to make his content better with every video. He raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for charity, and he entertained millions, and no doubt changed millions of people's lives. But in 2017, JonTron found himself enveloped in controversy after making some very troubling statements on Twitter. He defended a Republican politician named Steve King, who had made blatantly racist remarks in regards to immigrants, and this got JonTron into some very hot water. He didn't stop there though. He proceeded to claim that this controversy was only happening because people were being too sensitive and that this was political correctness at work ruining the world. He then doubled down, going onto the stream of the popular Twitch streamer named Destiny, where they debated the terrible statements John had made.
You're right, and people still manage to create divisions between themselves.
Well, because there still exist divisions. Black people are disproportionately represented in prisons, women are disproportionately represented in certain workplaces.
Okay, but the argument is that it's white people who caused them to be in those places. That's the implicit argument, not that they have any agency of their own to
Who do you think was responsible for Jim Crow laws thing? But
they say you want to have a conversation, but they don't really want to have a conversation. They just want to blame whites more and more. Nobody would ask Japan if it was okay that Japan become a minority Japanese nation.
But we're not Japan, and I don't care about Japan. And also, Japan is one of the most racist fucking countries in the world. Do you want to be like Japan?
This word racist, what does it mean?
It means that the Japanese people thought that they were the superior Asians, and it was part of the reasons why they were so keen to do that shit they did during World War II. Japanese viewed themselves as the superior Asian race, and every other Asian is being subservient to them.
Look, it's happening now. I mean, what is it that's so offensive about white people saying they would like to preserve their demographic majority? I mean, when the news is telling you that a vote for Donald Trump is a racist vote, okay, and Donald Trump, all that he's saying is perhaps maybe we should keep America the way it was. So, well, why shouldn't the white people be able to address this, but they're not allowed to because they're called racist by people like you?
Okay, so do you think that poor blacks probably commit more crime relative to wealthier black people?
They do. Wealthy blacks also commit more crime than poor whites. That's a fact.
Wait, what?
At the end of it all, John had spewed basically every white nationalist talking point in the book, and it is very safe to say that he is a racist. But now his fans, who were watching this controversy, were left with this dilemma. One of the most talented creators on YouTube had been ousted as a racist, and they had to decide whether to continue supporting him and enjoying his content or stopping, not wanting to encourage or normalize John's horrible ideas. Obviously, John lost a lot of subscribers from this, but he recovered rather quickly, with his channel now having over 5 million subscribers and every one of his videos gaining millions of views extremely fast. On top of that, he is still in the good graces of much of the YouTube community, with most of his fans and YouTuber friends excusing his horrible views and letting them become normalized and accepted in popular culture. The fact that so many people are now excusing these ideas as unpopular opinions is the perfect example of separation of art from the artist going so far that fans instead start defending and making excuses for the artists themselves. Another example of this includes a woman paying for R.Kelly to be released from jail, and the staggering amount of support in defense of this, all because they are such big fans of his music and can't stand the idea of that music's creator being a serial rapist. This is obviously not comparable to JonTron's scandal in scale or severity, but the same thought process applies for both of these incidents, so they are comparable. So now that we've talked about when separating the art from the artist, or even doing hardcore apologetics for the artist is bad, let's look at some cases where doing this is a good thing, because like I said before, being able to do this is generally a positive trait. How about we compare some very similar controversies so we can look purely at the differences between them, and why in one case it is bad, and in the other, it's alright. Let's start with another public figure who is outed as a white nationalist after a racist tirade on Twitter, the creator of Minecraft, Marcus Persson, better known as Notch. Now, I've talked about him a lot in other videos, so I'm not going to dwell on him for too long, but I do want to use him as an example because it's so perfect of a comparison to JonTron. The difference between the two is that someone who is a fan of Minecraft, who continues to enjoy the game, probably isn't doing it because they are a fan of Notch. They love the game that Notch created, and on top of that, Notch has not been involved with Minecraft for years. He is cited in the credits, but beyond that, he receives no more money from the sales of the game or merchandise purchases, and after years with no involvement with the game, he just isn't the face of it anymore. This means that fans don't have to excuse the horrible views of its creator in order to justify their continued enjoyment of the game. With JonTron, though, he is the face of his content, he is the sole attraction, and the show is centered almost entirely around him. Fans can't separate the art from the artist because, in a really weird way, he is the art. So unlike the situation with Marcus Persson, there is a Minecraft without Notch, but there is no JonTron show without John Jafari. This means that fans have to excuse his behavior and, whether deliberately or not, normalize and accept some very harmful ideas, all the while watching his content and supporting a racist, reinforcing his views. Another scenario where separating the art from the artist is not a big deal is the situation with Michael Jackson. He is responsible for creating some of the most iconic songs in music history, despite having been all but confirmed as being a child molester. The difference between him and R.Kelly, however, is that he has been dead for almost a decade. He isn't getting any money for the sales of his music, and no one is paying to bail him out of jail for his crimes. Because of this, unlike R.Kelly, no one has to contribute to the normalization of sexual assault and rape in order to justify their consumption of Michael Jackson's content. So at the end of the day, it's really up to you to decide whether you should or shouldn't separate the art from the artist. If you don't want to support or help normalize horrible actions or ideas in society, then there is no shame in not continuing to support that person despite their popularity. There is also no shame in continuing to enjoy their work as long as you don't contribute to the normalization of or apologetics for what they have done. And it's even okay to find yourself unable to enjoy that certain person's content on a basis of principle. But remember, just because a work of art was made by a terrible person doesn't mean enjoying it makes you a terrible person too. Well, hopefully you enjoyed this video. I'm trying out a new format for how I do these videos, so let me know what you prefer in the comment section down below. Also, let me know if you prefer my live streams more than my videos, or vice versa, and let me know if you have any suggestions on how I can improve my content and my channel overall as well. Make sure you join my fan Discord where you can talk to me and other viewers through the link in the description down below, and you can also follow me on Twitter from my tag on screen now. Thank you all so much for watching. Pig Puncher, out.